offensively, defensively, after one game and 5 games, I'm not sure these coaches have any idea what they have out on the floor.
Anthony Jordan, our lead official, throws the ball up, and the Cougars win the toss. And look who's starting at point guard. It'll be a change with Damion Dunn joining that backcourt by freshman Tremont Mark. So another freshman starting here for Kelvin Sampson.
3 really good freshmen out on the floor right now in this game.
First miss of the night belongs to the Houston Cougars, and Temple has it first time down the floor. Williams will run the point with Mark, the freshman, in front of him. 1 game so far for the Owls this year. They knocked off NJIT late last week, 72-60. Open kick and an early 3 opportunity comes up strong off the hands of J.P. Mormon. An offensive rebound. That's one thing Coach McKee said has to be a key in tonight's game.
It is going to be a key anytime you play University of Houston, but Aaron McKee really challenged his team in preparing for this game, that they've got to match the physicality, match the aggressiveness of the Cougars, and attack the glass. He said, every time a shot goes up, I need 5 guys to make contact with 5 players.
You just saw a picture of a Damion Dunn. This is a young man that's expected to be very highly considered a part of this Temple offense this year. 1 game last year, suffered a right foot injury and was extremely limited. Getting him healthy will be a huge scoring punch for them.
He was great a couple of nights ago in their first game. Had 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Out left corner, first triple on the night for Quentin Grimes is through. Quentin Grimes coming off a tremendous performance. He's had 2 25-plus point games so far this season.
In the last game, 27 points, 10 rebounds. His first career double-double.
Minute and a half gone by, and the Cougars had the first basket between these 2 teams. The pull-up jumper for Dunn comes up, and we've got a rebound and a foul underneath. Good positioning that time by Jake Forrester to grab it.
Well, Forrester, that was the only cherry-colored uniform down there in a sea of white, and that's 2 offensive rebounds in 2 possessions.
As you look at Dunn and Grimes, the 2 guys that should be the main go-to threats offensively for their respective teams. Shot clock at 20, another opportunity here for the Owls.
This is going to be a great matchup with Damion Dunn on Dunn, and expect to see Giroux on him the entire ballgame. Great matchup out on the perimeter.
Quick second whistle and a reach-in called on Justin Gorham, who had 16 rebounds in that win against Alcorn State a couple of days ago.
11 on the offensive end and set a new Fertitta Center record with that rebounding effort.
Shot clock on the foul resets to 20. There's a pick from the hands of the Cougars and Bryson Gresham. Turning, fighting along the baseline and trying to keep it in bounds with Gorham, but it finds the hands of Temple instead. Kind of disjointed early on here for Houston offensively.
That was ugly from the get-go.
Down the lane, up and under. Dunn with a kick out. Good ball movement. Back to Dunn, the low block. Going against Gorham. Still plenty of time with the shot clock. Pulls up, looking for a transition pass. Instead goes inside. Jump hook for Forrester. Too strong, but another whistle. So 3 early fouls here, Reed, called against the Cougars.
And what's surprising is not a lot of movement by Temple down on the offensive end. They've kind of got on a 4 out, 4 guys on the perimeter, 1 player on the inside, and not much ball movement, not much screening, not much cutting. And Aaron McKee may be saying that, may be saying, hey, look, we got to move down on the offensive end.
So to the line goes Jake Forrester. Last season for the Owls, 7.5 points a game and 4 rebounds. Was that? Oh, and an air ball to open things up.
Yeah,
ouch.
He struggled last year from the line. He finished the season about 46% from the free throw line, so under 50%, and picked up there. And Bryson Gresham now with 2 quick fouls and headed to the bench.
Reggie Chaney comes in and takes his spot. Chaney was coming off a career-high 18 against Alcorn State 2 days ago. Second free throw good, so a point on the board here for Temple nearly 2.5 minutes into the first. Juwan Mark again running the point. He wears number 12. The young man, very highly recruited coming out of high school. A launch of a 3-ball from Gorham comes up true.
Now just his second 3-point field goal of the season for Justin Gorham. And boy, he looked confident. Caught that ball in rhythm, spotted up, and nice catch and shoot 3-pointer.
And not a whole lot of it. That was just his 6th try of the season. Down the lane, up and under, coming up strong was Jeremiah Williams, and we've got a whistle against the Cougars.
Wow.
Something we don't normally accustom the Cougars seeing is some foul trouble early on, at least with a number of them. That's the fourth whistle against Houston as the open 3 falls for the Cougars.
Justin Gorham doing a nice job of being shot ready. Caught that ball in rhythm, and the quick fouls frustrating Kelvin Sampson early in this game.
To the line, Jeremiah Williams. He's now 3 of 5 on this season. Normally you don't go to a whole lot of individual numbers based on the previous game, but the Owls had one game to their credit. That's it.
That's what we got, so we're going to roll with it.
Have to.
Jeremiah was good with those 11 points, had 4 assists. So the freshman backcourt for Aaron McKee in the first game combined for 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. A pretty good opening game for a couple of freshmen.
Yeah, Williams, by the way, the second true freshman to start for Temple since 2002. So it's a very rarefied air for the young man like that to get that kind of early playing time. Here's Mark with a pull-up J. Strong. Rebound kind of fought for by a couple of different Temple players, and they couldn't hold on to it. And the Cougars will get a fresh possession out of it.
Yeah, so far, Temple not doing what Aaron McKee asked them to do. That time when the shot went up, all 5 players' eyes were following the arc of the ball. And, well, when a shot goes up against Houston, you better find a man, make contact with him, ceiling, and then go find the ball.
Mark directing traffic around the arc they go. This is Grimes on a crossover to the baseline. Back out to Mark left corner. 5 on the shot clock here. He puts something up. Another 3 ball on the way, and it's good. Wow, with about 2 on the clock. Quentin Grimes just 33% from distance, but looked good from there. Cougars hitting the 3 ball. It's a couple in the early going. 9-3 in favor of Houston. Oh, and a crossover, and we get a push off. And it's going to be an offensive foul. Boy, you got Cougar defenders flying all over the place that time.
That's Jeremiah Williams' fault. It's better to be late than early on an on-the-ball screen. You've got to wait. Let your big man get set and then go. If you go early, well, you're just inviting a moving screen call.
Good to see number 0, Marcus Sasser, on the floor for the Cougars. He's had ankle issues. He's only played in 3 games so far, missed the last 2. Their best perimeter player, hands down, for Houston.
Well, he's been really good, averaging 17 points coming into this game.
Offensive rebound, off the miss, and a foul on the other side of the floor. And they will call it against Temple as Perry, a huge part of that NJIT victory with 12 points and 14 rebounds. Nobody shot particularly well in that game, but, you know, my guess is when you've had all those cancellations, you're going to get some of those cobwebs taken care of.
Now, that was Dre's first career double-double for 12 and 14.
Here's Giroux between the rings with 13 to shoot. Cougars up 6. Lob to Gorham. Grimes at the free throw line. Short on the 15-footer. Still a loose basketball. They will say last touched.
Jump ball.
They'll call it jump ball. The baseline official couldn't come up with a call there.
I think Quentin Grimes wanted to pass that ball. He came off that, got to the center, and he was short-arming it, thinking that somebody was going to roll to the basket for the lob that never came.
Williams runs a point here for the Owls. And losing the basketball and actually getting called for a charge that time is Damion Dunn. Looks a little out of control on his end of the floor the last trip.
But look, that's excellent rotation. Watch Justin Gorham. It's a 1-4 high. Dejan Giroux gambled for it. He was guarding the guy at the elbow. He retreated, collapsed, got in legal guarding position, and drew a charge. That is excellent help side defense.
We might be here for a while. 7 fouls called in the first 4:45 of this first half. Giroux, out right corner. Sasser, short on his first attempt in quite some time. Offensive rebound, fresh 20 for the Cougars. Giroux, pick and pop, throws it off the window, and scoring nicely, Reggie Chaney. And Giroux's got 3 assists so far in this first half.
And Reggie Chaney drawing contact, finishing through that contact with a left hand.
Here's Dunn against a double team. A call for the offensive foul the last trip down the floor. We have a carry called at the right elbow on J.P. Mormon, the senior out of North Carolina.
It's interesting because Temple runs this 1-4 high. They run kind of what's called a, I'll think of it, a cut coming across the top. And then after they initiate and make the initial pass, then nothing else happens. Nobody else cuts. There's no on-the-ball screen. There's nobody cutting at all. And so we're going to have to get better execution.
Owls go to their bench. Ty Strickland from Tampa on the floor for the first time. And we're going to get a walk called against Justin Gorham. A little swivel there with the extra step and another Houston turnover. That's too bad, too, because he was wide open from that spot on the floor where he knocked down a three earlier. Also on the floor, Brendan Barry, a grad transfer from Dartmouth. Just recently joined the basketball team.
Yeah, when you say recently, you mean like really recently.
Like he may not know all of his teammates at this point.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't know his way around campus yet. In the fall, he was still taking classes at Dartmouth to graduate. He graduates. He's been on campus about 72 hours and then plays 25 minutes in the first game. He was only 1 for 4 from the three-point line, but this kid is one of the best three-point shooters in America. In 2018-19, he was in the top 10 in three-point field goal percentage. He does not need much daylight.
So Temple has a lot of work to do ahead of them with a bunch of newcomers as the ball goes out of bounds. Boy, every passing lane for the Cougars is just, they're doing a nice job. That time Cheney interrupting that pass. 15 to shoot here for the Owls. On the dribble, Barry. Give it back over to Strickland as they've gone too deep to their bench. This is Williams, the freshman. Good ball movement. Shot clock at 4. A high arcing three. That might have been deflected by Gorham. It goes as an air ball nevertheless. And here come the Cougars with numbers.
Well, that's 6 turnovers on 7 possessions for Temple.
To the lane. Grimes. Kick back out. Turns. Spins against a double team. Putting it in for 2 more. Reggie Cheney with his second basket of the half.
They're doing a really nice job. We saw him make contact and finish on the left side of the basket with his left hand. That time with his right hand.
Now an 8-point lead for the Cougars. On the post-up, Williams. Another good double team. Barry swings it deep. 3 on the way for Mormon is on the way and in. Wow. First time a triple falls for the Temple Owls, and that's from about 22 feet out.
He was 3 for 4 in their first game behind the line. Has a very nice release from the three-point field goal line.
Yeah, 10 points and 4 rebounds in that win. Last year averages just under 6 points a game for the Owls. Three-pointer for Sasser comes up off to the right. Rebound secured nicely by Mormon, who hit a triple the last trip down the floor. In front, Williams. Nice going feed inside to Mormon. That's 5 in a row for J.P. Mormon.
Yeah, really good spacing that time by Temple. Boy, they had the Houston defense spread from sideline to sideline.
So the lead now down to 5 for the Cougars as we are about 7.5 minutes into this first half of play. Sasser looks good. He's had ankle issues, as has Caleb Mills. Haven't seen Caleb play yet. Giroux, a running hook on the way and good. Dejan Giroux almost feels like if he gets that first shot down, confidence builds with him.
Yeah, especially a floater. He's done such a good job of being more under control on his dribble penetration. That time you saw him jump stop both feet when he hits the paint.
7-point lead for the Cougars. Ball thrown behind the man intended for the pass. That was Strickland, but he gathered it, saved it. Shot clock at 13. Pass inside Mormon, out right side to the baseline. Pulling up jumper from the right elbow. That's a brick, unfortunately, for Ty Strickland, but an offensive rebound for Temple, and we're going to get maybe a shot clock violation. Let's check to the Houston Cougars, and Temple has it first time down the floor. Williams will run the point with Mark, the freshman, in front of him. One game so far for the Owls this year. They knocked off NJIT late last week, 72-60. Open kick and an early 3 opportunity comes up strong off the hands of J.P. Mormon. An offensive rebound. That's one thing Coach McKee said has to be a key in tonight's game.
Yeah, it is going to be a key anytime you play University of Houston. But Aaron McKee really challenged his team in preparing for this game, that they've got to match the physicality, match the aggressiveness of the Cougars, and attack the glass. He said, every time a shot goes up, I need 5 guys to make contact with 5 players.
You just saw a picture of a Damion Dunn. This is a young man that's expected to be very highly considered a part of this Temple offense this year. One game last year, suffered a right foot injury and was extremely limited. getting him healthy will be a huge scoring punch for them.
A colleague of ours, Mark Jackson, calling games for Temple on ESPN Plus, and those three, you're talking about rarefied air in Temple Owl basketball history. Three of the greatest.
Pull-up jumper with a shot clock expiring. It's a miss and a rebound, and I think taking a little shot was Quentin Grimes off of that miss from Damion Dunn.
Surprised we have not seen Caleb Mills yet. He battled 2 sprained ankles early on, then battled COVID, and preseason player of the year in the American Conference. And I thought we would see him early in this game in a concerted effort to get him going, but boy, he has not taken off his sweatsuit yet.
Here's the crafty lefty, Tremont Mark. Oh, using a little right elbow and shoulder to separate us from his defender, but the foul was called on Jake Forrester.
We have watched this kid now for 5 games, and boy, does he excel at getting to the free throw line, shooting 76% once he gets there. But
as soon as you bring up that amazing percentage, he misses.
Well,
yeah, it's. I got news for you. You're the only broadcaster in America that's ever done that. So,
but you missed. You buried the lead. The lead was he is spectacular at getting to the free throw line.
For sure.
I mean, it is remarkable his ability to draw contact. And if he continues to shoot at 75% or better, he is going to be a tough defensive assignment for any opposing player.
I got one for you. He's had 40 attempts on the year. Can you name another freshman in the country without doing a lot of research that's been on the free throw line 40 times?
And averaging less than 20 minutes per game.
Yeah.
It's not like he's playing 30 and 32 minutes.
1 out of 2 to make it 16-8 in favor of the Cougars. Mormon's been very active on the offensive side here for Temple, going defensively against Gorham. Switching.
A lot of standing by Temple.
Yeah. Out to Berry, who steps inside the arc and has to take a rush two and another shot clock violation. Goodness. This is a team, unlike what we saw with Alcorn, in their win against New Jersey Institute of Technology, they had 22 field goals, 16 assists, which would then give you the indication they are taking that extra pass.
Only 2 assists so far in this game, but defensively, the Cougars are really locked in. These are 2 of the best defensive teams in the American Conference, so I don't expect this will be a high-scoring affair at the end of the evening. Great move.
Almost a second field goal for Giroux, but yet another offensive rebound. Sasser with an open 3, and a foul inside the arc as the Sasser triple fell.
I think they're going to get a foul on J.P. Moorman trying to box out, was it Gorham down there? I'm not sure who he was boxing out, but down on the bottom right of your screen, it was another situation like we saw earlier, the box out and moving somebody out, but that's going to be a 3-point basket and the ball. Yeah, after the shot. Potential for a 5 or 6 point play.
So that's already 5 whistles called against Temple in the first half, 4 so far against the Cougars.
I didn't see the foul.
No. But we've learned that boxing out's going to be very careful here tonight. Sasser knew he was going to miss that on when the ball left his hands, and it goes off right, and the rebound comes down to Damion Dunn. Cougars with their first double-digit advantage of the early evening. And we have a foul at the free throw line as Ty Strickland goes to the lane.
Redshirt sophomore, 6'2" out of Tampa, Florida. And one of the young guys that Aaron McKee relies on. He got 5 players returning, 2 starters, but out of his top 8 in his rotation in the only game they've played, 5 out of the 8 are newcomers.
So Marcus Sasser gets a brief rest after that little run. On the floor for the first time today, a young man who started the game, freshman out of Maynard, Jamal Shed. Baseline left, Mormon. And now post up against Gorham, and he knocks down the Jimmy.
Boy, that was nice. And then turned around and had a little something to say about it.
I think we'll have fun watching Gorham and Mormon at battle number 4s here today. 19-10, the 9-point Houston advantage, as we are now halfway done with the first half here from the Fertitta Center.
Still no Caleb Mills.
Here's Grimes, been active to Shed for the baseline. Turning and spinning is Mark. Grimes back out. The lefty's going to launch a 3 and hit it. Tremont Mark. That's his 5th 3-pointer this season.
Yeah, he has struggled a little bit early in this year. Was just 4 for 17 prior to that make.
Back up to a double-digit advantage for the Cougars at 22-10. Nice crossover. Leaner for Jeremiah Williams. No good. Good rebound.
Look, offensively, I don't think that's a formula for success against Houston, where just one guy's going to try to dribble and you spread out and just take one-on-one. And I don't know whether they're afraid of their on-the-ball defense, or I'm not sure what, but I guess hard to imagine that working.
Unforced turnover there as Jamal Shedd put his foot on the sideline. That'll result in a Houston turnover. Jawan Roberts is going to come in. Jawan has just 2 points and 4 rebounds in the most recent game against Alcorn. He comes in with 6 blocks in 5 games.
Jamal Shedd going to get yanked quick after that turnover. He was really good in the last game. Had 10 points, but had 5 turnovers, and Kelvin Sampson was not happy about that. And checks into the game immediately, has a turnover. And I imagine Morgan Sasser sitting at the table about to come in for him.
One more shot and out for Temple. Another open 3 for Giroux. Yes! And if you get that young man, Donald, from distance,
these coaches.
So the Cougars have 9 field goals so far in this first half, 6 of them from beyond the arc. They had just a total of 6 3-pointers and their win over Alcorn State 2 days ago. Cougars up 15 here.
Very efficient. 7 assists on 9 made field goals.
Williams against a double team. That's a block. We'll give it to Jawan Roberts. That'll be his 7th block of the season. Here's Mark behind a Giroux. This is what he was talking about. You got different guys directing traffic at the same time. Mark wants 3 more. Front rim out. Rebound secured at the free throw line by Dunn. It's been quiet so far here in the early going. Cougars up 15. Deep 3. Buried it.
Yeah, if you let him set his feet and get a look at the basket, you simply did not pay attention during the scouting report. He is going to shoot a high percentage if you give him daylight.
25-13 in favor of the Cougars. Here's Giroux left side of the floor. Shot clock showing 10. Another open 3, and that one's short again from the hands of Tremont Mark. And here comes Barry, who had a 3-ball last trip down the floor. And steal. Tremont Mark using the right hand, turns the left, goes up, all sorts of heavy contact. And we will see free throws from the Cougars in the
2 for 3 from behind the line. So, man, completely different than what we saw last time we saw the Cougars. They played against Alcorn State, and first half they were miserable behind the line. Maybe ended up 1 for 11 going into the locker room.
Third attempt of the day for Tremont Mark at the free throw line is successful. As you see the numbers there, scoring. Rebound numbers have been consistent. 2-time freshman of the week in the American Conference, so he's getting a lot of recognition from people around the league.
How good has he been to start this season?
14-point lead now for Houston. Damion Dunn, a guy we were kind of looking forward to seeing what he could do offensively. He has been held in check. Nothing so far after scoring 18 in their season opener.
That's one of those Dejan Giroux assignments, right? At the end of the game, you look up and you go, man, the guy Giroux was guarding didn't score very much.
On the post-up, turns, missing the layup that time was Arashma Parks, and the third time, boy, he went after it hard but couldn't get anything out of it, and then Mark grabs the basketball and takes the extra step. Give Arashma Parks some credit. The young man from North Royalton, Ohio, was in against 3 white shirt defenders and was fighting for those offensive rebounds for the Owls.
It was almost like he never had his balance, right? He was leaning back, and wasn't getting the ball up there. In this situation, you almost do better to take a power dribble, take the ball down and bounce it off the floor and gather your balance. Look at him as he's putting up. Well, he's battling, though. That was a good call. Tremont Mark came in and clearly traveled after he had possession of the ball.
Here's Dunn, 40 feet away from the basket. Long cross court out to Mormon.
Good closeout.
Absolutely. There's a bounce pass and a shot from 10, and that is on the way and no good again for Park. So he's had a miserable first 60 seconds of his night.
Really good defense by Houston.
And Cougars looking like they got some 3-point shot opportunities. Here's Grimes at the left elbow. Giroux wanted it, didn't he? Turns, leans, chain to the glass. He'll score it.
I don't know that was travel.
Wow, they called a walk before the basket went through.
Yeah, he did a little hop step, but he had that right foot planted as a pivot foot. Look, there's the little hop right there, but that right foot. Oh yeah,
the right one did. Sure.
Yep, good call.
That's why we're up here.
Yeah, that's right.
Instant replay is always our best friend, isn't it?
That's right.
And the officials' friends, too, I think.
I can hardly see what color the jersey is, and I'm seeing whether his pivot foot moved or not.
Long baseline triple from the right corner is no good on the attempt by Williams, and we've got bodies flying everywhere here on both sides. And we will stay on the, we'll go to the other end of the floor.
Reggie Chaney is trying to develop an identity of being an inside scoring threat for this Houston team, and there aren't a lot of guys that they look to throw the ball to with their back to the basket. You mentioned it earlier, the last game, those 18 points, a new career high. Transfer from Arkansas, but he looks to score. And we've already seen him put up 2 shots with his left hand and 2 shots with his right hand, and so he can turn over both shoulders.
Short on the free throw. That foul was on Parks, by the way, of the Owls. That was the 7th whistle against Temple, so the Cougars in the bonus the final 5:45 of this half. Dunn, blocked from behind. Wow. Everybody's getting their hands involved. Open 3 right corner in front of the Temple bench will not fall for our friends Marcus Sasser. Leak out, ball thrown behind. Going to have a chase it is Mormon. He'll bring it back out to midcourt. Missed opportunity that time for Temple.
Great hustle back inside the ball by Dejan Giroux.
Mormon will now launch a 3 in front of the Houston bench and knock it down.
Well, I tell you what, J.P. Mormon's not afraid to talk about it. He's hit 2 shots, and every time he hits a shot, he's going to tell somebody about it.
This is a young man who's got 10 points in this half. He only averaged 6 points a game last season for the Owls.
Good pass.
He's inside. Chaney up fakes, goes to the window and scores. Very fluid motion that time once the ball got into his hands.
Very poised and composed by Quentin Grimes on the pass down the middle of the floor.
We'll give Grimes the 2nd assist of his day, and the Cougar lead is 13. Barry cut off at the top. Low block right. This is Parks against Chaney. Jump hook, tough shot, and a make. Wow. Rashma Parks. This is a young man that averaged 2.5 points a game as a reserve for the Owls a year ago.
That was nice. First time I remember this year, the ball going into the post and Houston not double teaming the post player. Their defense, they call it their monster set.
Mark behind him to Grimes, and we have a whistle out high, and a walk's going to be called against Quentin Grimes. And it looks like Jamal Shedd's going to return for the Cougars, and giving a rest again is Marcus Sasser. It feels like Marcus getting little chunks of time to get himself back into shape on this college basketball floor.
Well, look, we because of HIPAA concerns, we don't know exactly who's had COVID or not. All we know is that Kelvin Sampson has said every single player has dealt with it. And so, you don't want to pass judgment too quick. You don't know what the conditioning is of the kids. And so it's not unusual to be out and see shots falling short for both teams.
Dunn faces a double team out high.
Ooh, that's a try.
There's a walk. Jeremiah Williams, that is, getting a little bit of...
I'm telling you, that SMU team...
Every point guard is jealous of those kind of numbers.
Man, that SMU team, they're no joke. There are a lot of good backcourts in this conference this year, and we're watching 2 of them, but Kendrick Davis and Tyson Jolly, boy, they can play with anybody in the country.
So too can this 3-guard combo the Cougars are putting out with 13 on the shot clock. Mark, the freshman, with the right hand. To another fellow freshman. That's Shedd. Back to Mark. Left of the free throw line. Comes up strong. Rebound picked up by Brendan Berry.
Mark's not following through on his shot. He's got a hand. He's just kind of flicking it.
Berry faces a double team, hands it to his right to Dunn.
It's a charge.
There is going to be the charge taken beautifully. And wow, a little extra comment from Justin Gorman for taking that charge.
Yeah, that's the second one. I don't know what Damion Dunn's thinking. He was set. He was unbelievable how long he was set. And Damion Dunn, maybe he looked down and thought his heels were in the restricted arc, but that wasn't even close. Maybe a little bit of frustration. Damion Dunn with 18 points in the first game, yet to score here this evening.
He's got 2 fouls to his credit, unfortunately for him.
I think they were both charges.
29-18, Cougars up by 11. Wrote the free throw line. There's a walk there.
Yeah, but I hate one-handed passes. I just hate them because if your player, your teammate suddenly cuts, you got nothing to do with it. You're just stuck, right? Put 2 hands on that ball. If the guy cuts, pull the ball back, but don't get flippant, don't get lazy, and just toss the ball out there with an underhand with one hand.
Turnover count now. The Cougars have 7 compared to 8 for the Temple Owls. Under 3 until halftime.
Cougars came into this game forcing on average 18 turnovers per game.
To the lane, Mormon. Again, good defense underneath Giroux, enforcing the bad shot.
Good find.
Lob out to Shed, left corner. It's cut off. Top to Sasser, who returned during the dead ball. Grimes in a post-up. Fade away from 15. No.
Good
Boy,
rebound.
going in for the rebound. Wow. You had
who was that coming
jerseys?
in?
I think
that's
that was
Ty Strickland.
Yeah, sure was.
Boy, great effort going to the board.
The sophomore from Tampa was only 6'2", going against guys 6'7", 6'8" for that loose basketball.
Well, he just came crazy. That's what Aaron McKee said they're going to have to do if they're going to win this game. And they're going to have to match the toughness and the physicality. And they call a foul on him?
No, I think they did for going in for that loose ball. Here's Gorham for a 1-and-1. This is the 9th team foul against the Owls, so the Cougars will win the double bonus the rest of this first half.
Yeah, that's the 3rd foul that Temple's been called for on their defensive rebound.
And frankly, if the game continues to get called that way, they're not going to be able to stay with it because you're asking guys that are 6'3", 6'4" to be going against guys 6'7", 6'8", who live and breathe rebounding.
That's right.
So Gorham has all 5 of the UH offensive rebounds. That comes as zero surprise. And so far off of that, the Cougars have scored 10 second chance points between which you get the free throw line. 13-point lead.
Good.
Up and under. There's Strickland doing it, but he missed the layup. Wow. Gorham underneath the rebound and the tap out to Grimes.
Temple's best offensive set of the game.
Working it from baseline to baseline, then one side of the court to the other, leaving a man open from 3. That comes up, but Grimes gets his own miss, puts it back in, misses it. A 3rd time is no good for Justin Gorham. But again, you will never, ever be sad about a team crashing boards like the Houston Cougars have done, frankly, since Kelvin Sampson's been here.
Well, and it's all out of position. Look where Justin Gorham is. He's up at the elbow, and he comes in 3 cherry uniforms, and he comes up with that offensive board. I tell you what, I thought last year Nate Hinton, the kid that declared hardship and went to the NBA and is in the Mavericks organization, thought he was as good as I've seen in a long time at rebounding out of position. Justin Gorham's going to challenge that title this year. That kid, his rebounding effort is off the charts.
So Shed to the bench. Sasser back in. Also Nick Jourdain, a freshman from Clifton, New Jersey, is on the floor for the first time here for the Owls. 1 out of 2 from the line for Justin Gorham, and the lead back up to 14. Cougars trying to get to 6-0 on the season. The Owls would just love to get to 6 games, period. This is just their 2nd game of this college basketball season. I would say young, but we're approaching Christmas.
Yeah. Unbelievable. 2nd game, December 22nd.
Mormon underneath, 1 dribble on the way up, and fouled was Nick Jourdain. So as soon as he gets on the floor, he's going to be rewarded with some free throws.
Did not go to the free throw line in their first game, and a good job up and under. And that's what we talked about earlier. Remember, we talked about if you don't have your balance, take a power dribble, and not just 1 dribble. Take the ball all the way down to the floor, gather yourself, have a base, and then you can go up strong.
Could have called on a 1 of 2 players. Giroux will get the whistle on him. That was the 6th Houston foul, and using the backboard, which only counts a half point in these games.
Yikes.
Do even kids today, are they taught to throw it against the backboard? I mean,
never. I saw Damion Dunn warming up out here, standing on the A, at the bottom of your screen, and he was doing a square-up drill and shooting the ball off the glass. And I thought, I hope he uses that in the game, but haven't seen it yet.
Not very effective usually in a real college basketball game. 32-19.
Well, certainly not from the free throw line.
Yeah, 80 seconds left.
Good defense.
Arm on the post-up to Grimes. Back out to Sasser. Getting his perimeter shot back will be a huge addition for this Cougars squad. Crossover, contested 3. Gorham. Another offensive rebound, Gorham.
Come on.
Out to Giroux for 3. Rattles out. And a whistle inside.
I mean, are you kidding me? Justin Gorham, every time the ball comes off the rim, he's near it.
We've had no field goals either side in the last 3 minutes here. But when you get offensive rebounds, most times you're rewarded, but this time we'll go the other end of the floor on a foul called against the Cougars.
Well, Jeremiah Williams was down there trying to box out Justin Gorham, and he was down low and made contact, and well, just cannot keep that kid off the glass. And
Cheney with a swipe gets called for the whistle. And here's Jourdain at the line for the third time in this first half. And barely grazes rim.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got an air ball and barely rimmed.
Yikes. Ooh.
50 seconds left to go and another whistle. And an offensive foul is called, so 2 straight possessions and nothing out of it for the Cougars, as a foul will be called against Houston. And we're going to see Tremont Mark come off that bench for Kelvin Sampson.
Well, listen, partner, we don't get a lot of information in this day and age and the health status and availability,
right.
But I'm guessing Caleb Mills is not going to play in this game. He still has not taken off his warm-up jacket.
Yeah, battled 2 sore ankles, and then, we're assuming there were some COVID issues as well. No guarantees on that, but that'd be a long road recovery for him.
Jourdain just got the ball in the paint, a lot of traffic, and I think he went, I don't want any fouls.
7 on the clock. Deep 3 again for Barry. Nails it. That's his second one. Not afraid to hit from any spot on the floor. And that cuts the Houston lead down to 10 as the Cougars go for the final shots.
Really unselfish basketball by Jeremiah Williams. He had a shot and passed up for a better shot for Brandon Barry.
Grimes just beyond midcourt to Sasser to the lane. He slips and a whistle and a walk.
Well, he's out of sync, isn't he?
This is the guy that's missed 3 weeks, essentially. 9 Houston turnovers. Frankly, Temple's got to be thinking they're pretty blessed, only down 10. Here's a half-court shot. Hits the glass. It's no good off the hands of Nick Jourdain. And we will go to the intermission with the Houston.
Houston's going to be a tough out. Temple right now coming into this game, we talked about their freshman backcourt in their first game of Dunn and Williams had 29 points in that game. So far tonight, just 2, and Damion Dunn still looking for his first point.
Houston with the basketball to begin the second period. Speaking of Justin, misses off the front rim. One shot out for the Cougars. Rebound to Jake Forrester. Opening possession here as Jeremiah Williams will bring it up front court here for Temple.
I think I get the ball into J.P. Mormon's hands early on here in the second half.
Temple, by the way, just 1 of 6 on layups in the first 20. They're working perimeter, and Mormon almost lost the basketball. Out left corner, Dunn gives up the shot. Down low, and a foul will be called on Tremont Mark as Jake Forrester goes up, and he'll have some free throws.
Look, I don't want to read too much into this because maybe it was just a really unselfish play. Damion Dunn doesn't look like he wants to shoot. That ball came to him. He was squared up. Houston was having to scramble to close out to him. He did not even look up at the rim. And I think Aaron McKee jumped up and yelled, "You shoot the ball, young man. When that ball's in your hands and you're open."
Now, we don't have a great sample size in him. He's a redshirt freshman, played just 1 game last year. But in the first game against NJIT, he only had 1 3-point attempt. So maybe that's just not part of his game, at least at this point in his collegiate career.
And it was a high-volume game. He had 18 points, but he was 4 for 12 from the floor. But still, I anticipated he'd come in and certainly have more field goal attempts than he has so far here this evening.
So the 2 Forrester free throws makes it a single-digit lead here for Houston. Grimes, a right corner kick and launch and a make for 3. That's a nice way to open up his second half. Kind of did that against the Braves 2 nights ago. Back up to an 11-point lead for the Cougars at 35-24.
Grimes' third 3-point field goal made.
Dunn splits the rings against Giroux. That baseline to baseline pass I've never been a fan of. There's an easy steal for Mark. Pulls up and hits.
Oh, I really like that. I like a kid that looks around. You get inside 15 feet and inevitably you see somebody over-penetrate and try to get all the way to the rim. Man, just jump stop and take a 10-foot jump shot.
Contested shot and poorly done by Jake Forrester. Cougars have scored 5 in a row, looking for more. Grimes, a deeper 3 off the front rim. Rare 1 shot and out for Houston. In the open floor, Williams. Layup up front for Mormon. Boy, Mormon exploded from midcourt to take that pass for 2.
That quick shot ends up being a turnover and almost like an outlet pass for Temple.
So Much more fluid play from both teams here to start this second period. 2 minutes in, Cougar lead down to 9. Giroux left of the free throw line. He'll pop a 14-footer and hit.
Yeah, that was really good recognition. That was a screen, rescreen, rescreen. They kept going underneath the screen, daring Damion Giroux to take an outside jump shot, and he just kept getting closer and closer to the basket.
Third field goal for Giroux. Back up to 13. Could have made it 10, but Williams comes up missing on the 3. One-on-one, gets numbers. Giroux, while looking for an alley-oop feed for Quentin Grimes, and it goes out of bounds. Not a bad thought, but the angle was a little off, and it results in a Houston turnover.
That was a spectacular turnover.
It looked good.
Coaches aren't too excited about spectacular turnovers. How about just a basic 2-on-1 finish and score? Kelvin Sampson came over and laid into the chair that he's sitting on. Not a fan of spectacular turnovers.
They all look the same on the stat card, just like that one right there does. Here's Mark, and a bounce pass underneath, losing his Gorham momentarily, and then brings it out high.
Oh, Justin Gorham, great hands to catch that ball.
He was literally underneath the basket and then reset his team's offense. Giroux picks up the dribble. And we got contact all over the place, and an offensive foul will be called on Bryson Gresham.
Let me tell you something. Dre Perry switched out on Quentin Grimes and played excellent defense. Watch this catch. He's got his back turned, like a wide receiver comes in over your shoulder. That one came in under his right hip, and he still caught the bounce pass.
How many post players can bring it out that far out to redirect?
Yeah, very few.
13-point lead. Boy, Dunn looks so apprehensive in the perimeter right now.
That's a travel.
The right elbow jumper, no good for Forrester. Cougars with the rebound. Here's Grimes in front court. Nice bounce pass, entry feed, layup. Missing it is Justin Gorham, but he'll be rewarded with free throws. Kind of kicking himself there with non-finish.
Quentin Grimes does a good job of being poised. He doesn't panic. Look at him. He's got his head up. He waits for the play to develop. And Justin Gorham, we've been bragging on him, but he's got to finish that one.
But is well on his way towards a double-double here with the rebounding numbers he had in the first half. All right, so Justin Gorham to the line. He's 5 of 8 on the season. As you take a look, he's already had 2 rebounds here in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half, and he knocks down his 7th point of the game. As we see Reggie Chaney come back in, and Marcus Sasser. So yes on Sasser so far tonight, and no on Caleb Mills.
16 rebound record that Justin Gorham set 2 nights ago may not stand for very long.
Hits the free throws there, and the Cougars back up comfortably by 15. Warman way out high. Sets a good screen. And a whistle.
Much better movement here in the second half by Temple. They're doing some dribble handoffs. Some guys are diving through the lane, forcing the defense to shift a little bit. Nice adjustments in the locker room by Aaron McKee.
Yeah, Dre Perry getting involved in that a little bit. Got on the reach in. To Williams. Back to Perry. Up big set 3. Nice bounce pass. One dribble, turn, spin. Now back in the game, Barry, the 3-point threat. They better hurry. It was 7 on the shot clock.
Good
nice
pass.
Feed underneath, and the layup is in. Jeremiah Williams on a filthy feed down low.
J.P. Mormon with a jump stop at the elbow, and he kind of looked out to the left a little bit of misdirection, and beautiful bounce pass.
Sasser back to Grimes. Cut off at the free throw line. Back to Sasser. Marcus going against Barry. Both these guys would have a fun time with a 3-point shooting contest. Shot clock at 6 for the freshman. Out left corner. Gorham wants to spot up and hit from 3. That's another triple for him, his 2nd of the game.
Well, Justin Gorham, he came into this game only 1 for 3 from behind the 3-point line. He's having himself a basketball game.
And quietly, the Cougars' lead has exploded now to 16. Little separation just enough for Jeremiah Williams, his 2nd basket of the second half.
The most aggressive we've seen Jeremiah Williams offensively.
5 minutes into period number 2, and the Cougars' advantage is 14. Grimes. Crossover. Tough looking shot. Good defensive time from Barry. The offensive rebound is put back and in. More second chance opportunities, right place and right time for Quentin Grimes. And that second chance point category continues to be dominated by the University of Houston.
13-0, now up 10 in total rebounding.
And up to a 16-point lead. And unfortunately, Mormon was looking for somebody to throw it to, and he couldn't find anybody.
And they lost the game.
If you're in Cleveland,
no, they didn't. You're not even listening to me.
I know. You tried that joke on me earlier, didn't work. If you're Cleveland State's broadcaster, do you just put the headset down and say, you know what, I don't need to do this anymore?
Yeah, we're good. I'm out.
I'll pick it up again when we score a basket.
That was dead air. No, that was our offensive execution.
Jump hook, right side, got it. Two boards. Nicely done, Reggie Chaney.
Yeah, Reggie Chaney's a nice, developing into a nice offensive option inside. Hey, look, I want to say something about Jay Wright also, because clearly he belongs in the Hall of Fame and will be there. But I want to say this, and I don't want people up in the Northeast mad at me. I'm going to vote for him for Hall of Fame. I don't have a vote. Right after Bob Huggins gets in. I'm going to vote for Bob.
You have a pecking order, huh?
Well, just, Huggins is flirting with 900 wins, right, by the end of the year. And certainly all the national titles, and Huggins doesn't have any, but both those guys belong in the Hall of Fame. But I became such a big Jay Wright fan when they came here for the Final Four here in Houston. And I was on the committee, the team host committee, and got to know him and be around that program. What a first-class organization. I mean, from headlight to tailpipes. I was so impressed with Villanova and the culture that Jay Wright has there.
I don't think our audience watching us in Philadelphia tonight would be surprised with your comments, as the Cougars have now jumped out to a 20-point lead. A couple of substitutions on both sides.
Everybody felt that was like, duh. Where you been? Well, I'm not just coming along lately. I'm just saying 600 wins is a pretty special number.
Dunn with 6 on the shot clock, out to Barry left corner. Good defense, down to 2, down to 1. How about a 40-footer? And that thing almost went down from the hands of J.B. Mormon.
Do you feel like Temple ought to look for him offensively more?
Kind of reminds me of P.J. Tucker in terms of his build and where he shoots it from the perimeter.
Yeah, but better with the ball. Can handle the ball, create separation. We've seen him make a really nice pass, and I'd be tempted to run more of my offense through him.
How about another Gorham three?
Same spot on the floor. Wow.
That is the sweet spot for Justin Gorham, as the Cougars have scored 9 in a row. He's got 14 now with 3 triples. Perfect from distance.
Having himself a game.
And another miss for Damion Dunn. And another 2 and out that time for Temple on their side of the floor. They are really struggling to find their shot. Lob into Chaney. Turns and spins against the Ligner Forrester, and a spin move and one. Wow, what a move.
Right, he's good over his right shoulder and his left shoulder, so you've got to play him square up, and it's really easy. He does such a good job of pivoting.
And now we've got some extracurricular activity.
Oh my gosh, he just threw the ref out of the...
There's the frustration of Damion Dunn's night. No field goals, 0 points, and frankly, he's lucky he's still here, right?
Well, and Justin Gorham, too. I mean, that was a forearm to the face. I don't know how you watch that replay and come to any different conclusion. Am I right?
I'm astonished, especially with the way these games have been called in college basketball. The pick and roll results in an and one coming up here for the Owls and the Houston foul.
Well, I guess I'm glad for both of them, and I'm speculating that it may be more ramifications and disciplinary action taken by the American Conference after this, and boy, there's not any disciplinary action in the game. I'm dumbfounded by that, partner.
So Jake Forrester with his 3rd field goal of the game, or say 2nd, and he makes the free throw there. Now 4 of 5 from the line. 55-33. It's funny, neither one of the coaches really said much either way.
Yeah, I don't know that they saw the replay. Maybe they just thought, hey, you keep yours, I'll keep mine, and we're good.
Well, find me a coach that doesn't want to fight for his kids to stay in the basketball game. Here's Mark. I guess the punishment of a Kelvin Sampson is going to be way worse than anything official could put out at you. Miss on the 3-ball for Grimes, an offensive rebound. Shed with a long kick out to a fellow freshman. Mark a deep 3. Another offensive rebound.
Hey, boy.
Jawan Roberts that time with it.
31-17 on the boards.
Remember, this is a team that had a 12.5 rebound advantage going into tonight's game. 5 on the shot clock. Grimes and a crossover. Got to put it up. No, I never saw it. There's a violation.
Oh, Kelvin, look at the bottom of your screen. How do you think Kelvin Sampson played?
Cougars will have a Christmas day off, and then they get right back on a plane to go play UCF on the 26th. So they've got a lot of games coming up here. So after the long layoff because of COVID-related issues, the Cougar basketball team will be very active the next 10 days or so. So too, for that matter, will be Brendan Brady and the rest of the variant on the Temple Owls as they continue to turn it over here. Another steal. Grimes will bring it in front court here for Houston. Shed to Mark in the left corner. 360 turn. Back to Shed. Out to Grimes. Gresham loves that left baseline, does he not?
He's already hit 2 from that corner.
There's a turnover as Mark has a hard time holding on to it. And another turnover by Temple, just cannot get out of their own way. Alley-oop. Unable to finish is Grimes. Chased out of bounds. Ty Strickland will let it go out of bounds, and it'll be Temple basketball.
Well, I won't say it again because I've already said it once. I'm not a fan of spectacular turnovers. You got a 2-on-1. You've got to score in a 2-on-1. You've got good spacing. You've got guys on either side of the lane. And a film session tomorrow with Kelvin Sampson. I promise you that is going to be a point of emphasis.
Bryson Gresham is in. Justin Gorham getting a lot of high fives and congratulations from his Cougar teammates.
Already with a double-double, 14 points and 12 rebounds as he goes to the bench.
Jeremiah Williams returns among many here for Temple, and that might be, I was going to say, almost the third consecutive turnover. The ball is deflected out of bounds, last touch by Gresham. So look at that turnover count. It feels like it should be way more one-sided than it is. As Marcus Sasser comes in for Quentin Grimes. And as soon as, before Grimes can sit down, he gets a little talking to from his head basketball coach. 17 to shoot here as Williams will inbound it for the Owls. Out to Barry. Well, he gets double teamed every time he touches the basketball. Dunn is back in to re-get a surprise. There's a layup attempt. It comes up as an air ball, but a whistle. And there may be an opportunity for Damion Dunn to get to the free throw line on the Houston foul. 6 fouls, by the way, called against the Cougars. Just 1 against Temple here as we are exactly halfway through the second half. So this is just a stark contrast to what we saw, at least in the box score of 2 days ago.
And his first trip to the free throw line after going there 13 times in the first game. There you go.
Finally on the scorecard.
Maybe that'll get Damion going.
Again, the Owls predicted to finish 10th in the league out of 11. Aaron McKee is 15-17 now in his second season as the head coach of the Owls. At Philadelphia marketplace, those Big Five schools are always a huge challenge. Now that Villanova has had this long tenured run of being a national powerhouse, it can't be very easy to compete with that school in that city. There's Sasser into front court for Houston. Good time here for Jamal Shed to maybe get some confidence back after not starting today's game. Attacks the glass, misses off the front iron. Rebound picked up by Mormon. Back to Dunn looking for his first field goal of the day, and he will go back to the free throw line and another Houston whistle. That'll be on Jamal Shed.
Jamal Shed did a good job hustling back inside the ball. He missed a layup down on one end of the floor, was able to hustle back inside. Well, boy, there's still some frustration going on by Damion Dunn. Look, if ever there was a game you want to go ahead and throw an elbow at somebody.
Well, the problem is that, as you've alluded to, the league would watch something like that and may punish him for any future games.
No, I don't, I don't want to overreact. I just, from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when there was such a point of emphasis in any contact above the shoulders, resulted in a flagrant 2. Now, look, the pendulum swung way too far, and that was overreaction to keeping players safe, which is, an aspirational goal for everybody. But, I mean, if you grabbed a rebound and turned around and hit somebody, it was a flagrant 2. And that was a forearm we saw to the head and then grabbed the official and spin.
Those of you that don't know, this year's tournament, every game will be in the Indianapolis metropolitan area. They're going to take all 68 teams and play the tournament there.
I did not know that.
That's why you should listen to me more often. All right, 9:20 remaining in the contest.
Said nobody ever. A 2-3 zone for the first time coming out of that timeout.
It's good to see the Cougars will actually see this for the first time in quite a while. Shot clock at 5. Mark from the left elbow. That looked true.
Yeah, credit Bryson Gresham. He did a nice job coming up from the opposite low post and set a screen on that outside guard in the 2-3. That was Jeremiah Williams that got hit with a screen.
There's Mormon right corner. Really been the only solid offensive threat today besides what Barry's provided off the bench. Turn, spin, and a walk for Jake Forrester. There's a couple of baskets here in the second half.
Watch Bryson Gresham come up and set a screen, kind of a bone jar. Yeah, knocked him down, knocked him off his feet. Really good execution. And one of the things when you play man-to-man a lot and then you go to a zone, you have a tendency to stop talking and you're not calling out screens. And so you leave your teammate Williams completely getting his clock cleaned blindside by a good tough screen.
15 turnovers today for Temple, 14 for the Cougars. Up on an offensive rebound and a putback. That's going to go through for Jawan Roberts.
Simply took that ball out of Jake Forrester's hands.
Lead of 23. Deep three again for Barry.
Ooh.
That was and then some.
Yeah, I watched him warm up, and I counted he was 14 for 18 from almost that same spot on the floor.
He has 3 of their 5 triples today.
Again, he's only been on campus less than a week. He started the semester taking classes at Dartmouth, could transfer immediately as a graduate student, and then all NCAA passing the rule they should have passed long ago, and everybody got immediate waivers, immediately eligible this season.
Free ball for Giroux was too strong. We have a whistle underneath, and we'll stay on this end of the floor with 7:49.
I'd love to play a game. Could we pick another one, please?
And it not being the league, to tell you the truth. Here's Giroux around the arc. Shot clock at 15. He brings it back out towards midcourt.
Watch the film of Alcorn State. Could we have them?
They've had quite a few cancellations, including some pretty decent programs. Turning, spinning.
Wow,
Roberts can't finish. And a whistle. So those cancellations would include St. Joseph's, LaSalle, Villanova, all part of that Big Five, and Virginia Tech. So they weren't messing around when it came to non-conference competition.
You know, it's crazy, and you and I talked about it, that I kind of have in the back of my mind that the games get canceled. You think, okay, the games are canceled. You're still practicing, and you're tired of practicing, going against each other. But that's not accurate. These teams are not practicing. And if they are, it's more like individual workouts.
3-on-3.
Yeah, they don't have enough guys to go against, can't go 5 men. And so when you talk about a 2-week layoff, it's not like you've been going and everybody's conditioned. And so you got guys coming out of being quarantined, whether it's contact tracing or exposure or positive tests, and you've got to almost start all over again.
Trey Perry with a miss on the front end of the 1-and-1. And a foul on the Temple side of things. That's going to be on Jeremiah Williams, the freshman from Chicago. They must like him. Again, only 2 freshmen in the last 18 years have ever started a game for Temple University, and Jeremiah is one of now 3 total that have done that.
11 points in the first game, has 6 here this evening, and I think the officials are going to stop this jawing. Jeremiah Williams and Dejan Giroux. Someone got called for a technical, double technical maybe.
So Damion Dunn gets lucky to stick around.
Okay, now wait a minute.
And then just got called for a tee.
Don't get me wound up again. That's going to be a double technical? Are you kidding me?
And Dejan's like, that's what it got it?
Wait. God. I don't get it, partner. You know, it's a tough job. It's hard to do. I don't want to do it. I've tried it, and I sucked at it. But
were you really an official for a while?
Yeah, I called some games.
I want to see video of that.
Yeah,
we had a foul in backcourt. Or in front court as Jeremiah gets across. He was tripping behind.
Just say,
let's see what exactly precipitated this.
Yeah, they're jawing. They're just talking. But my gosh, now you're going to be sensitive? We've seen kids getting hit in the face with forearms and officials getting slung out of the action. And
all that to tell you that there's now a double bonus situation here for the Owls as Jeremiah Williams will go to the free throw line for 2, which will make the next 7 minutes, I think, pure torture in terms of stoppage of play. Free throw is up and good, making it 59-40. Kevin's like, what did my kid say? I want to make sure I get this right, so if I admonish them after the game, I have my facts straight. 2 free throws for Williams. Seven minutes remaining here in the second half. Half-court pressure being applied by Temple. The Cougars break it. Javon Mark running the point this trip. Back to Sasser. Just joining us, Sasser back tonight. Caleb Mills, eligible to play, has not taken off the uniform top. Remained on the sideline, and we have a reach-in foul called against the freshman.
Well, now Williams getting into
any sort of extracurricular activity, they should just be ejected. Let's get on with this because it is muddied up this second half considerably.
Horses out of the barn on that one.
Here's Grimes. And boy, kind of shot puts it up there. Got a little bit of English on the roll. 2 more for Quentin Grimes. 61-41 as the Cougars are back up by 20. Grimes now up to 13 points. Missed layup 1, missed layup 2, both by Dre Perry. The third time, no. He still has it in his hands. Goes up a fourth time, and he's finally going to be rewarded with some free throws.
Yeah, good hard-nosed play that time by Dre Perry. Sticking with it. And look, we don't have to have a powwow after every single whistle. And Quentin Grimes just throwing a prayer up there. Thought he drew a foul and able to convert it. But, man, down on the other end, Dre Perry with really good effort.
And the foul is on Gresham. That is going to be his 5th, so he is done. His day is over. No points scored. 5 fouls. And we'll see Dre Perry back at the free throw line for a couple as Reggie Chaney returns for Houston. Free throw number 1 is up and good. Temple at the line has been 13 out of 18. Conversely, the Cougars have only gone to the stripe 11 times in this game. Both teams have 17 turnovers apiece. Second one good.
Dre Perry with 8 rebounds.
19, make an 18-point lead for Houston as we approach 6 minutes remaining here in the second half. Mark started today. The other freshman, Jamal Shedd, started the last game against Alcorn 2 days ago.
Inside to Reggie Chaney.
Juwan Roberts at the free throw line, out to an open man. That's another 3 for Quentin Grimes. Starting to feel it now. He's got 16.
He has been as good as anybody in the country. You take away the first game against Lamar where he struggled a little bit. The next 4 games, he has been spectacular.
Turnaround jumper, no good for J.P. Mormon, but he fouled on Houston. And boy, Kelvin is almost at midcourt to argue this. And it's going to be on Tremont Mark. And Kelvin not particularly happy with that late whistle. Jake Forrester set the return for the Owls.
Further to the point about Quentin Grimes, who had 25 points and 8 against Boise State, 17 and 7 against Texas Tech, 23 and 7 against Carolina, and then 27 and 10 against Alcorn State. He has been really, really good. And came into the game the number 3 scorer in the American Athletic Conference, and also the number 3 in rebounding.
Dunn to the line for the first of 2, makes it. Had a lot of fouls in this game, a lot of turnovers. It's been just kind of uneven on both sides. Fortunately, the Cougars at the end of the day have just been able to shoot a lot better than what our competitors have done here from Temple. Free throw for Dunn, number 2 is good. 19-point advantage with 5:22 remaining. Here's Mark, who was open momentarily. That's Shedd. Juwan Roberts getting some playing time. Good ball movement for the Cougars. Nearly a strip. Leaves Sasser open from the left corner. Missing on a 3, but a weak side foul is called. And that came on the other side of the floor, and Damion Dunn just picked up his 4th whistle.
Yeah, he backed into Reggie Chaney and didn't do anything wrong. Was just trying to make contact, but now
Sixth foul, by the way, so no free throws until the next Owls foul. Shot clock on the reset was at 20. Underneath, Chaney knocked out of bounds. Last touched off the hands of Dre Perry.
Yeah, that's a weak side defender inside the restricted arc, and by rule, that is a block. You can leave your feet and contest the shot, but you cannot go in and make contact when you rotate over and clearly inside the arc.
Best part of that was the no look from Quentin Grimes on that play.
Yeah, I need to get off of it because I am perhaps as frustrated as both coaches.
And now the official back at midcourt to seek some sort of clarification.
Well, what the rule is, it's a secondary defender, right? The restricted arc's not for the primary defender. It's secondary defender. You don't want guys rotating over. You can't draw a charge inside the restricted arc. You simply can't. If you're inside the arc, you can play the rule of verticality, and you can leave your feet and jump straight up and contest and make contact. But you can't set up like you're trying to draw a charge. That is a block by definition.
6 to shoot. Sasser throws it up, says a small prayer, and drops it in for 2. Back up to a 21-point lead for Houston. Williams turning, spinning, down low, layup good. Jake Forrester. Forrester's been a nice little addition in the second half.
He's got really good hands. He's caught some tough passes in traffic.
He is their tallest player at 6'9". I wouldn't say their heaviest player, though. 4:15 remaining. Another no-look pass. Grimes underneath the Chaney, and he'll get some free throws.
Quentin Grimes has been really good, hasn't he?
His passing ability today has been really good.
But he's so poised with his passing. He doesn't get out of balance. He doesn't do lazy passes. He usually has his balance. He's come to a jump stop, so he's not overcommitted, but he has been really good making decisions in this game.
Chaney with 10 as you look at some scores coming in from the Around the American as he misses his second free throw in as many tries. Wichita goes to Tampa to win at South Florida. Central Florida, as we talked about at halftime, with a win over Cincinnati. And East Carolina with a 10-point win in Greenville this evening. Second free throw good, 1 for 2. First free throw of the night made for Chaney. Lead up to 20 at 67-47. One category that Temple's been able to take advantage of. They're going to the free throw line 8 more times than the Cougars have. Barry on the baseline. Ball deflected. Dunn trying to push it to keep it in bounds and winds up finding the hands of a Cougar defender and Chaney. Houston doesn't have numbers. Grimes doesn't care. 2 more. Quentin Grimes working towards his season average of just over 19 a game. He's got 18 now. Lead of 22 and another whistle. Way out high.
With Marcus Sasser, coming off of ankle injuries and battling COVID, and the preseason American Conference Player of the Year, Caleb Mills, we still have not seen him this year. He played a little bit, played about 8 minutes, and actually sprained his other ankle and ended up in a walking boot and is over there with his warm-up still on. So a lot of offensive firepower for this Houston team. There's Caleb Mills.
1 and 2 from Strickland at the line. Yeah, Mills played against Boise State. He had 17 minutes and just over 11 minutes against Texas Tech, and just has not seen the floor since then. Chaney, 360 move, comes up short. Rebound underneath, picked up by Nick Jourdain. Here again is Dunn going up, and boy, while he struggles from the floor and has all night, he has yet to get a field goal on his scorecard. He will be going to the free throw line for the 7th and 8th time here tonight.
Well, we talked about it. This is last season for the preseason Player of the Year, Caleb Mills. And boy, if you haven't watched this young man play, he is fun to watch. He is as unorthodox of a scorer as I remember seeing in college basketball in a long time.
That was Chaney's 4th foul.
Yeah, I was just about to say, credit Damion Dunn. He's having a tough night getting clean looks and getting the jump shot to fall down, but well, he's done a good job of getting to the free throw line, especially here in the second half.
Perry to the bench for the Owls. 2 free throws for Dunn. 69-50 with 3:18 remaining. Grimes has gone just about the entire way here for the Cougars. It's a screen from Cheney. Shed out right side angle. Cougars running clock. And we have a late whistle. Very, very late whistle. At the 3-minute mark of our game here. And that will be the 9th team foul against Temple. So just a 1-and-1 coming up here.
Let me tell you what just happened.
That's the 8th foul, actually. Yes.
The players stopped playing. The official, instead of blowing his whistle, he inhaled. And so there was this little weak tweet.
How did you hear that from where we are?
And everybody stopped playing. And then he gathered himself and blew on it stronger. And so I don't think the whistle was actually as late as it seemed.
Okay. Well, if you heard it when you originally blew it, I'll give you credit for that. As the free throw for Juwan Roberts goes through. Try two, a little hard. Rebound picked up by Ty Strickland. Or maybe I believe Mr. Dunn's day is done. No field goals in his first conference game. Wow. In just his 3rd overall game as a member of the Temple Owls. And Shed off the errant pass, an easy steal. Oh, and he stepped out of bounds. So Shed.
Going to have to push the buttons themselves.
It's, it's survival of the fittest. It's taking the test 3 times a week. It's flying. It's not going out and seeing your friends. It's not, going out to dinner on the road. It's staying in your hotel. And this is for collegiate athletes and, for that matter, professional athletes at this point in our lives. Shot clock at 6.
Really good defense.
Down to 1. There's a blocked shot. Barry at the left elbow got it swatted away, and that's going to be another block as Quentin Grimes gets his mitts on it.
Yeah, Quentin Grimes' ability to close out on Brendan Barry and keep his balance and then take him off the dribble and block his shot. That's about as good a on-the-ball defense as you'll see. Quentin Grimes really doing a job.
New Temple player on the floor wears 23, Quincy Adama Okoye. Getting his first playing time here with 2:07 remaining. Grimes looking for 3 more off the front rim. Rebound secured by Strickland. Wants to push. Goes high off the window. That's all he'll grab. Rebound to Roberts. Roberts going to get some nice rebounding numbers in these last couple of games. Shed kicks it back out to Grimes here midcourt. Up base. Fall back. Got it. Smooth looking stroke.
Reached down to get Dapp, and they left him hanging. He makes the game look easy, doesn't he?
Sure does. No angle seems like to be a tough spot for him on the floor. 90 ticks remaining in a 22-point lead. Barry wants an NBA-esque type 3. Comes off front rim. Rebound to Marcus Sasser. What do you think about Marcus today?
About what I expected. Didn't have his legs underneath him. He's a shooter that needs his legs, and good to get a sweat and get back into the game. But now ask me what I think about Quentin Grimes tonight.
Crisp passes, too.
I agree. One of the things, I don't know that it's a knock, but an observation last year is that he wasn't very consistent, right? He would kind of disappear at times. He has been ridiculously consistent this season, 6 games in.
And when you've been healthy, it helps.
Yeah,
playing those serious minutes. Layup try, no good for Jourdain, and we've got the walk-on as on the floor. That's Ryan Elvin.
Tell you what, shots going up by Ryan Elvin. You're going to get him the ball, and you can bet on it going up.
He's got the ball in his hand. To Sasser with 12 on the clock. Cheney spins around the defender and scores. 7 straight points for the Cougars in this contest. Shot clock is off. All we're waiting for is a final. Very impressive way for Houston to open up the league slate.
A familiar formula, right? They up plus 16 rebounding. They dominated the offensive glass, and then defensively they took the best players for Temple and just took them out of the game. A good win for the Houston Cougars.
And held the Temple Owls to just 29